All right, there we are. Live stream is ready. I have a Japanese natural. Got my Naguras here below. And I have some razors here right next to me. I have some paper towels. Hope everyone is doing well. Just want to do some general purpose honing. I have this frame back. I'm going to send this to a friend of mine. He's going to learn how to hone. So he has synthetic stones that I have sold to him. And this is a razor that I'm going to send. He can try out my edge. And then, yeah, he can try out my edge. And he can play with that razor and try to learn how to hone. Let's wet this Nakayama. Nice and wet. I'm going to start with that frame back. I'm going to do about, start with a thick kind of slurry. Neiman, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone in chat is doing well. Yeah, this razor already has an edge. Nice razor and water. Thank you, Eric. Hope you're doing well, brother. When do you get back from work? Hopefully soon. Alright, so I'm going to send this to a friend so he can learn how to hone. And, yeah, I want to send him an edge. That way he knows kind of what to, like, look for. I'm going to start with some working strokes here. Heel, leading. And this stone is a fast cutter. This is with the diamond slurry. Tomorrow? Shit. Oh, a little bit more water here. I want to send you a razor as well, Eric, so you can try out my J-Nut edges and let me know how I'm doing. How much pressure do you apply? Not much. What I am doing is I'm torquing into the blade forward. And this is like, these are what I call like working sets, where I'm kind of using two hands. Torquing into the, making sure that the edge is making contact. I don't really do that pizza scale thing, but I have done it. I put about 500 grams of pressure. And the reason why I did that was to help someone out. But me personally, I would not use a pizza scale to see if I'm doing good or not. Nice, bro. Thank you, brother. So this is a Japanese natural, Nakayama. Eric helped me out with learning the kanji. Gabby, hope you're doing well, Gabby. Josiah, you're trying to learn how to prevent buying new stones. My advice to you, my friend, is get one from a good seller. And once you get a good one, you don't have to look back or anything. The problem is if you try to buy a cheap one, and then you're regretting your choices, and you still got to buy another one. Nondo JR, hi, hope you're doing well. Easy hone, hi, nice stone, thank you, yeah. This is a nice and dense stone. It's a fast cutter. All right, I like that. And then when I do my working sets, then I like to finish on one-handed X strokes. Light pressure. But this razor already had an edge. I'm just kind of like going back to the diamond slurry of this Nakayama. And now I'm going to go on the Mikawa Nagura progression. All right. Got that there. So now I'm going to go with Botan. A lot of people saying hi. Adira, hi, hope you're doing well. Jace Freeman, hi, hope you're doing well, my friend. Lovely Tuesday. over here in Puerto Rico. All right. Let's take the Botan and make a slurry. There you guys can see the kanji. Sean G, brother, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jonas Sosa, what's up? I was at B&B yesterday. Master T, hope you're doing well. Cyberfire, hope you're doing well. Lovely Tuesday today. Been doing some honing. Yeah, I got a dropped bomb on me last night. What do you mean? Cyberfire, thank you. I'm Steve. What's up, Steve? Yeah, I was in the forums last night, and there was this interesting forum post talking about... Ooh, what? What the heck? You gotta spill the tea, Sean. All right, we got some Botan slurry. What you sanding? Just a Japanese natural here. These are my working sets. Just sharpening this razor on a Japanese natural stone. Andrew, I'm Steve. What's up, brother? Isn't that from the Minecraft movie? Miguel Alvarez, what's up, brother? So I was at a forum yesterday, and then we're talking about magic stones for sharpening. And there was a lot of conflicting ideas on whether there is such a thing as a magic stone. And I think there is, because everybody kind of came to the same conclusion that Dan's Arkansas stones are like magic because they're so consistent. So there you go. Even on the forums where everybody's always fighting, everybody can come and agree that those arc stones are just beautiful. Have you heard about the Spanish Huaco natural whetstone? I have not. Please enlighten me, because I have not heard about this. And being a Spanish-speaking individual, would love to hear more about this. Okay. Robert's Reviews, my good friend Robert, making some awesome content lately. Hope you're doing well. Benny Dogs, this is a surprisingly satisfying, nice work. Any thoughts on Spyderco triangle sharpeners? I've seen them, and I think they're great for knives. For straight razors, I'm pretty sure that they don't work just because of... Well, they could work. I don't know. But I've heard really good things about Spyderco. You sent me them. Okay, thank you, brother. I'll check it. I'll look it once I'm done here with the live. I agree, Eric. Feels like new sellers trying to oversell their stones, telling you this stone is this grit or that grit. You know, especially if they're natural stones, they don't have a grit. So, kind of a misconception that beginners kind of fall into. I know I did when I started. Can I do a backflip? I cannot. Lately, I've been a fat fuck. Eating pizza, pasta. But I started my diet recently. Eating a lot of vegetables. And I've lost 10 pounds already. Dude, I gained 7 pounds. Can you do a flip reset? Good call. Good call. Adam, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. Yeah, so we're going to send this to a buddy of mine. Can't wait to get his opinion. Imagine if he says, like, oh, man, this thing freaking sucks. Look how fast this is a cutter. And it's a finishing stone, by the way. But it's a fast cutter. The density on this was 360. Let's do some circles. That feels nice. Hi from Germany. My family's from Germany. Hi. Because my name's Sean Staplefield. And, yeah, my grandparents came from Germany. My dad was born in Germany. I need to get my German passport. I only lose weight when eating carnivore. Losing weight, I've always lost weight when I do like a simple method of counting calories. You know, calories in, calories out. People that lose weight on carnivore is mainly because they're when you eat protein, you eat less calories because it just fills you up more. What is going on here? I am sharpening a straight razor. These are used to shave. I'm sharpening it for a friend of mine on this Japanese stone. Yeah, it's a barber razor used. Ooh, getting a lot of chat in here. I tried eating vegan, but it's so irritating to keep around the house until you can get them processed and ready for cooking. Dude, it's like those vegan soaps that are being sold on the market for shaving. Some of them are really good, but man, I don't condone violence on any vegans. Chile? What's up, Chile? You thought that this was wood? No, this is a stone. It has a wood backing, but look at this chunk of stone. This will last many lifetimes if I don't manage to break it. So these are my working sets. I'm using both hands. You can use 2 hands, 1 hand. Usually I mix things up. Sometimes I only do one-handed honing, and then sometimes I do both hands. This other hand doesn't put any pressure. It's just like a guide. So this type of honing, sometimes I do it like this because it kind of relaxes me. It's like when I'm honing a knife. But whenever I do my finishing strokes, so for example, on this bow tin, I'm going to do my finishing strokes. I do like going one-handed and feeling the razor. I go really light pressure. And that's just me. But everybody has different ways of doing things. That's a nice ASMR stream, not going to lie. So relaxing. Thank you, brother. I'm here to give you guys what you want. And you want that ASMR goodness. It's a freaking fast cutter, Eric. But it's fine, which is like what gets me in my head. It confuses me because I'm saying like, oh, it's a fast cutter, but it's also a finishing stone. So it kind of messes with my head, you know? Because usually I equivalate fast cutting to a stone that isn't as fine. It's a unicorn. Now I'm going with Tenju. I don't read kanji, but I've honed with these stones many times, so I know which stone is which. How many grit stones is that? This is the Japanese natural stone. The abrasives in them vary in size, but it's a finishing stone. Some people, in order to equate it to something in the synthetic world, they would say something about 20K, 30K. I've heard people say 100K, which is, I have no idea how they get get to that conclusion, but you know, it's a finishing stone. It's finer than any synthetic stones that I have. I have a 30K synthetic, and this I feel is finer than that. What do you think about those people that say 100K, Eric? Because I've heard people say that before, and I think it's funny. What are you rubbing on these stones? Well, this is a coarser, and that's a great question, Joseph. This stone is really hard and it has really fine particles. This one is not that hard and it has coarser particles. By putting this slurry of this stone on the base stone, I am doing basically a one stone hone. I'm doing all my work here, and that's the beauty of Japanese naturals. You're gonna duck? All right, see you, Jack. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. What am I doing? I'm sharpening a razor with a Japanese natural. These are kind of like the stones that the Japanese use to sharpen samurai knives, but I'm using it to sharpen a straight razor. Doing my working sets. It is very cool. It's very addictive. Once you start, you're gonna want to sharpen everything. How long do I sharpen a knife for? If I wanted to sharpen it really quick, I'd probably go for a synthetic stone. I like this Japanese naturals because they kind of get me on the zone, flipping the stone, so I even it on both sides. But this is really hard. I would probably do a synthetic, but for a Japanese natural, I like taking my time and feeling the edge out. Look at all that swarf, and I can hear the wispiness. Can you guys hear that? There's a lot of people online. They talk about magic stones. You know, what's the best stone for this, for that? You know, the best stone you can get is the one that gets you the results that you want. All right. The cost of this stone, this was in the $300 range, but you know, I probably could have gotten it cheaper. But there were other people that were bidding on the stone, and this is the one I wanted. You know, I had not seen a stone. I don't know, I looked at the pictures and it spoke to me, kind of like when I got my dog. When I got my dog, the girl sent me pictures of a bunch of puppies, and there was this one dog that was in the corner all alone, and I was like, you know, that guy's speaking to me, and this stone was speaking to me. I wanted it. I had the money, and that's all it is. But I'm really happy because it's a really fast cutter and it's really fine, you know. It might be too fine, but I restore old straight razors, but parts struggle with this bevel and final edge to actually shave. It's a learning process, man. I struggle with restorations. Yeah, sharpening a blade. This is a Japanese blade with Swedish steel, which is really hard. So now I am in my... These are, I don't call my working sets. I mean, they're working, but I'm one-handed, just putting in that final polish. And it feels very velvety. These Japanese stones, this is the difference between a Japanese stone and a synthetic stone, for example. The feel that you have under the blade is very unique. It's velvety. It's almost like you're in a trance, you know? I don't have a sharpness tester. I just shave with them. I'm sorry. I hear someone said, slow down the stroke. Look at that undercut. I got you, brother. Pasang Lam, what's up, my friend? Hope you're doing well. And these stones have been used for countless years, you know. Like I said, the Japanese used them to sharpen their samurai knives, their katanas. Hey, do you do this all the time, or is this your first time? I like this. Well, yeah, I do this all the time. You know, I sharpen in my channel, what my channel is about, and this is for everyone who's here. All I do is sharpen knives and razors, kitchen knives as well, everyday pocket knives, and I shave with them. It's a shaving channel. I try different soaps. It's just kind of like, it's going to sound like a bitch, but it's basically a beauty channel for men. But that's a little joke, but have a nice community here. We all help each other out. We all talk about different products that we like and about sharpening. So, nice community. You get fussed for going too fast. You finally joined me. Well, you guys have been very influential in my honing, so it makes sense that I pick some stuff up. All right. Cleaning the stone, because now I'm going to move to a different Mikawa Nagura. This is a little bit finer than the one I was using before. And this is called a Majiro, and it has a beautiful color. There you guys can see the stamping of the kanji. But I love this beautiful color. It has a nice white, you get some gray in there, and then you got like that gold color or yellow. Let's put this back in frame. What grade is that you're doing in numbers? Well, like I said, all these have different grits, but the base stone is really fine and hard. And you have all these little stones, right? And these little stones go from coarse to finer to finer to finest. And then you have your Tomo. But yeah, I would say these are like in your early mid-range work, and this is like final pre-polishing work, these two. That's how I would say. I can't really put a number, but some people say this is like, for example, a 6 to 8K. Jesus loves you and I love him. Exactly, and they all break down, so it's impossible to put a number, but I understand when you're starting out the need to try to visualize the work that you're doing. But my best advice is just let the blade give you feedback and take that feedback of, am I done? And internalize it. Yeah, it's very traditional. Are those made from the bones of your victims? No victims here. 300 is just a start. You can get cheaper ones that will perform really good. Like I said, maybe, you know, on a given day, on a particular given day, you can get one for cheaper that's just as good as this one, maybe even better. But on that particular day, I had the coin, and I had the want to get the stone, so I got it. All right, going in with my working sets, starting with circles. As you guys can see, now it doesn't get as dark as fast because it's a little finer. These are circles. These are called half strokes, Japanese half strokes. Like I said, I'm making sure that the edge is very engaged in what I'm doing. I'm going to flip the stone now, making sure I utilize the entire stone. What's going on? Just honing a razor, sharpening it on this Japanese natural stone. Beautiful stones, man. Once you go JNAT, you don't go back. I always try to hone in a scything motion. Some guys hone straight like this. I can't say that's the way I enjoy honing. I always try to hone for like a smile. So I start with the heel forward and the scything motion. So I kind of like, the way I imagine it is I'm sharpening a scimitar or a scythe or curved blade. Even if it's a straight blade, I try imagining I'm sharpening a curved blade. Stay blessed, John. Stay blessed, my friend. So sharpening, the way I like, it's all sharpening, right? You're getting something that's dull and you're sharpening it. But once you get to like a particular grit that is very fine, I like saying honing. You know, I kind of, and everybody has a different opinion on it. This is just the way I internalize it. Is sharpening for me is like setting that initial bevel, that initial sharpness. And it's interchangeable. You might say, like Eric says, you might find me being on a finishing stage, and one day I'm like, yeah, so I sharpened this razor. You know, you want this dude on the apocalypse when the apocalypse comes? You know, there's this movie on theaters, I think. It's called 28 Years Later. And I had seen all the prior movies. Okay, now I'm in my finishing strokes. I did my working sets. Now I'm cleaning it up. So I'm using one-handed just because that's what I feel comfortable with. So yeah, I can't wait to, I've seen all those 28, what was it, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and now they got 28 years later. I'm not sure if that's on theaters right now, but I want to see it. You make this look easy, brother. Thank you, thank you. I wouldn't be here making it look easy if it wasn't for guys like Eric the Cajun Blade, Greg Gallant, John JPO. You know, I always like giving credit where credit is due. They've been incredible mentors, teachers, and friends. Most importantly, they've been really good friends. You're ready for the apocalypse. I think I am. And this feels really nice. I hear a really nice wispy sensation where I'm honing this. Can you guys hear that? Let me know in the chat if you can hear it. That wispy noise is an audible observation. That gets you a like and subscribe. Thank you, thank you. That's all I do. I'm a male beauty channel. I shave with these on camera. I try different products out. The latest product that I've tried is one I actually helped create with Eric, which is Cuba Libre, which is a soap based on a Cuban drink. And we worked on that, and it's actually a bestseller on Etsy now, so that's really cool. This hobby has allowed me to do some really cool shit, man. Have you been sharpening this entire blade this entire time? Yes, I have. And it's because I like taking my time on this stone. All right, now we're going to go Coma. Yo, Sean, how much does this cost? Money-wise? This stone, $300. And these Naguras that are here, I don't know, about, I'd say between all of them, like 150. But you don't have to spend so much money to get into this. This is what they call a unicorn stone. I'm rubbing the stone to have that really nice dense stone in the bottom, and then this coarser grit slurry, which is, by the way, not that coarse. It's pretty fine, actually. It's very velvety on top, and that way I can do everything on one stone without switching the main base stone. For Coma and Tomo, I like having a about that much slurry. And then razors can vary depending on how you buy them. I like what Sizzle Moon Song says. this craftsmanship, man. No one will ever take this away from you. Smith & Wesson, what are you doing, brother? Smoothing out that stone with a harder stone? No, the stone that I was using is actually not harder. It's softer, but I'm using that slurry that it has to have a coarser grit stone. Because the base stone is the hardest stone here in the entire progression. And we're actually going to finish on that. These are my working sets. I use both hands and I sharpen like a knife, you know. I do have a scything motion because I want to create a smile on the blade. Whoop, hit the camera there. Well, not old, I'm vintage. These stones have slurry. And they actually sell these on as big stones. And the Japanese actually use the Mikawa Nagura. This, for example, is a tenju. They would sharpen on a big-ass tenju. For straight razor shaving, Iwasaki, about 100 years ago, found that you can use a slurry on these and go from coarser to finer and achieve good results. He actually used scientific equipment for that, so if you don't believe me, you can check him out. It's called Iwasaki. How are your angles correct? With straight razors, the angle is set by the spine. So the difference between sharpening like a knife, sharpening a knife, you would kind of hold the angle and have your wrist set and not move the wrist. But with straight razors, you let the spine of the blade do the work. Shafting Glass Rockstar is the best for budget honing. I gotta agree. I don't have them yet, but I gotta agree. Other reviews seem to say that, so. Do you ever even stones out by rubbing two together? I keep mine flat using a diamond plate. But these stones are so hard that it's going to stay flat for a long, long time. Thank you, Jackson. I wouldn't consider myself a genius, but the people that taught me, some of them are in the chat, they definitely seem like geniuses. And how do you say it? All credit where credit is due, you know? I don't want to take any credit from them because use throwaways. Well, my channel, Feld Ritter, is all about shaving with these razors, and I've cut myself sometimes. I cut myself more with DE razors than I do with straight razors for some reason. I don't know what it is. All right, that feels very nice and velvety. This edge is coming along really nice. I think my buddy is going to love this. You can tell a lot by how a man keeps his knife sharp. I gotta agree. You know, I got on my Forerunner, I got whetstones on my Forerunner, just in case I need to sharpen something. Okay, now we're gonna go to the. Yeah, sure. You can plug your buddy's channel, and if you can send me a message, a link to those channels, I would love to see them. This is some Tomo slurry here from the base stone. And I finish on a light misty slurry like that, and I might add some water. Do you know everything or like just a little bit? There's a lot of things I feel like I don't know. And that feels really nice. On this slurry, I'm only going to do X strokes. I feel like there's a bunch of stuff I still don't know. You know, some people were talking about magic stones on the forums. which is the magic stone that gets you the best edge. And at the point in time I am right now, I don't think there's anything like a magic stone that gets you the best edge. I think it all depends on the person, you know. Some people get great shaves with some stones, and maybe I get okay shaves with those stones. It all depends on who's honing and what their pressure is. You know, there's so many variables that come into account. He knows everything about coticles. If I do, it's because you taught me. Where are you from? Hello from Kazakhstan. I am from Puerto Rico. Thanks for being here, my friend. Yeah, I have been tunnel visioning this entire hobby. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and every day I'm doing research, trying different things out. Can you guys hear that wispiness? My good friend Martin Shaves from the UK is here. What's up, Martin? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Look at that ASMR goodness on that wispiness. And I like the size of the stone. You know, you got a really nice big stone to do your work. I like doing like a scything action to keep that smile. Starting with the heel forward just slightly. And everything tells me that this edge is ready. And it's shaving perfectly. All right. Now with these stones, you kind of want to have a towel or something. Or not stones, these razors. You want to you want to dry them off because they're carbon steel, most of them. If you leave water on those carbon steel razors, they can go bad. I'm going to take this out. Put this back here. Now this is a coticle. And this is not a flat stone. It's a curved stone. And it's curved, and it works like you're regrounding like a wheel. This would be like a 6-foot wheel. I'm going to take these stones out of here. Put them on the side, because now we're going to work with a coticle. I don't want to cross-contaminate anything. And let's put some new water here in the back. Convex for the win. It really does make a difference when you're convexing. I'm going to leave that in the background. Wet this up a bit. And this is a coticle as well. And this is a slurry stone. Thank you, Jackson. And I feel like my videos are better than my lives. Like, I feel like I make cooler content. But I appreciate that, my friend. All right. This is a vintage razor. And I'm going in with pressure. With convex, you can go with nice, heavy pressure. It'll bend the very apex to the side, as I was taught by John, JPO. Do you believe in Jesus? Sometimes I have a hard time believing, but I try to believe. I've been actively trying to believe. I feel like as you get older, things get harder, and I don't know. It feels good feeling like there's someone there with you. All right, brother. Help your grandpop out. That is the most important. So this is a convex stone. It has a nice curve to it. And right now I'm just grinding the bevel and making it more hollow, which in turn allows it to cut better. You know, the more you use a razor and the closer you get to the spine, the thicker it gets. So convex stones help with that. Yeah, I think I'm on the same path. Absolute. With convex stones, I feel like my strokes are even faster and I don't have to worry so much about pressure. Because the apex bends away. You really don't, when you're using a 6-foot wheel, you really don't care too much about the very apex. What you care more about is carving out that bevel, making it wider, which in turn makes it even more comfortable. Jeffrey Miller, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Are you sharpening a knife? A straight razor, which is, you could consider it a knife. Why is this so incredibly satisfying? Man, I feel like in this day and age, we use cartridge razors and we throw away everything. But, you know, back in the day, they used to have things like this where you can maintain yourself. And it just made life a lot more simpler, easier. But now you got to buy everything. You got to throw everything away. It's kind of like cars. Like, what do you guys think about cars? Like, now they only last a couple years and then they're fucked. Back in the day, cars used to last a lot longer. Cleaning up the razor a little bit. I thought you were just cutting into the soap. Nah, this is a stone, Belgian coticle. Beautiful stones, one stone hone. You can do everything on them. Jeffrey Miller, a lot of viewers. Yeah, man. I hit one. Like when I hit 500 subscribers, I feel like YouTube gave me a bump in views. And then when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I feel like they gave me another bump in views. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm telling you, it's like they have those little milestones, like 500, then 1,000. And once you hit them, I feel like they promote you more. Thank you, Jeffrey. And now that I have 1,000, all I want to do is share people's channels and help everybody else grow. Because the more we help each other grow, the bigger the community becomes. Back in the day, you had a 10-liter V8 doing 200 horsepower. What the fuck is this? This is just honing a straight razor, my friend. What stones do you use? I use everything. Synthetic stones, but this is a coticle. This is from Belgium. It has garnets. That's the main abrasive here. Checking how sharp it is. Pretty sharp, man. Take care, Rick. So right now, I really don't care about the apex of the edge, the actual edge. All I care about is carving in a more hollow ground razor. What's up, MSBD? These are called X strokes. I don't have a sharpness tester, but I have looked at them. I think they're like a 200 bucks. I might get one in the future, just because it seems fun. A gold bar? No, this is not a gold bar, but it does look like gold, man. These are beautiful stones. Same technique for knives. For knives, I have a different technique, because for knives, you got to put your own angle on it, and you got to hold that angle. With straight razors, the spine dictates that angle. That's what we call the bevel angle, and there's actually a formula to calculate that with the spine thickness and the distance between the spine and the cutting edge. That's how I get all my razors to perform the way I like them. Are you sharpening to kill someone? No. I'm sharpening this to shave. And it's going to be an amazing shaver. I just know it. Just cutting in that bevel. Focusing on the heel a little bit, and now I'm blending it together like that. You didn't come to your house yet. New razor, Sean. This is my good friend Greg Galan. He's taught me so much. Yes, this is a new razor I bought on eBay for like 15 bucks, and cleaned it up, and just playing around with it. It's a small 4/8, about 4/8, and it's a good razor. All right, now, Justin, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing well. How long that thing been sharpening? This one just started. We just finished a razor that I'm going to send to a friend. It is a frame back, but this is a just a beater razor. So what's that now? This is a coticle, and it is a convex coticle. That's why it has a weird shape. I use it more to create a concavity on the bevel. That concavity makes the bevel larger, and in turn gives a little bit more flex. I like these stones to create that concavity. I can go in with a lot of pressure here because it kind of bends the edge away. When you're using convex stones, if you put pressure, it bends the edge away. So sometimes those $12 razors become your favorite. I gotta agree. These $12 razors have taught me more about honing and sharpening than any other brand new razor. I think I missed a message here. Did you see my other comment? So what's that now? This is a coticle. Yeah, sub to each other, guys. That's how we're going to make this community grow. And Justin Grip makes great DE content. He'll start straight razor content soon, I feel like. Hopefully. At least with Chevettes. Oh, yeah, I saw that you were back. I think your grandpa didn't show up. Roger Clark, what's up, my man? Yeah, sometimes I talk really fast. All I do is sharpen stuff and shave with stuff, with straight razors in this case. All right. Adding a little hydration to the mix. These are called X strokes. I can slow down a bit if you guys want. But right now I'm not really working on the apex of the razor. I'm working on the concavity of the razor, making it thinner. When I move to a flat stone, that concavity makes the contact area easier to work. It's thinner, it's less material there, It goes by pretty fast, and it gives an amazing edge. Oh, the terminology. I mean, there's so much terminology when you come into this hobby. I completely understand what you're saying. It took me 2 years to get to the point I am now. And sometimes I'm still like, what the heck? But it's fun. It's a fun journey. I feel like learning how to hone straight razors has made me a better knife sharpener. I know that might sound crazy, but I think it does. All right. So that was the coticle. That feels very thin. I'm going to move to a flat stone now. And this is a Japanese natural. You guys saw this already. But this is a flat stone now. So this will put some emphasis. Is convex grind knife best for sharpness, or is there something better? I wouldn't say it's the best or this and that. You know, it's just a tool that you have in your arsenal. If you want to have it or not, it all depends on you. I'm the type of guy that says, you know, the more tools I have in my arsenal, the better. It does give a unique feel because it makes it thinner. It makes it more comfortable, in my opinion. Okay, we're wetting that surface. And we're going to go in with some Coma. This is a boulder. What's up, Chris? Hope you're doing well. What's that, J-Nat? This is a Nakayama. It has no issues on the surface. It is a level 5 plus. The density is 360. It is the densest stone I could find, and that's why I bought it. It's a really fast cutter, and it almost feels too sharp when you're finishing on slurry. So I haven't even tried it finishing on water or misty because it feels too sharp with slurry. What does Kita mean, Greg? I'm sorry. I'm still kind of bad with the terminology. But yeah, this is a finishing stone. There we go. And now this work will go by really fast because I can't remember if it was keto or not. It's like a yellow stone. It's a finishing stone, Nakayama. It said it was yellow, no imperfections on the surface. This is what I can remember from the translating the kanji. Might be a something if you're using curved stones you have to be wary about is that the undercut will come immediately. That doesn't necessarily mean you're done. You gotta give some love to the very apex. Sorry guys, I'm looking here at the condition. I can see a change between the curved. So I think we're done with the Coma. I'm going to move to Tomo. This is Tomo slurry right here. And with Tomo, when I move from the Mikawa Nagura, so Botan, Tenju Majiro, Coma, with Tomo I finish with a lighter slurry, a lighter density slurry. And this is too dense. This is what Eric calls a unicorn stone because it's a really fast cutter. It's really hard. 360 is crazy density. And I've always been a fan of, I like the stone that I like, but I've never had a bad Nakayama. I'm sure if I keep buying, I'll eventually get to one. But they've never disappointed. Shobudani's as well. I haven't tried an Azuko. On the density scale, most Sukos are like 363. So this being a 360, it's like, damn, it's dense like an Azuko, but it has a very different feel. Very glassy, very, very velvety. Thank you for everyone who's watching. This is a very ASMR kind of live stream today. Putting lighter pressure now. What's up, A? Emerald stone for finishing. You mean the Jasper? Or Jasper is hard. Almost fucked up the edge there. Jasper is hard. I've had edges that are Jasper before. Not a huge fan of the edge that it produces. I think it can be, you can get finer edges off of a JNat, Arkansas, or a coticle. Alright, I think we're ready. For those who are interested, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, strop this and the other razor, and see how it goes. So, be right back. right. Just a quick stropping between both razors. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. It's so fine, I can't see it. But you can see it's falling there. Oh, I can't even see this hair, it's so fine. Maybe I should get a packing peanut. That test might be better to visually see. Alright, packing peanut is a better visual test. Now with now this one. So I think that's pretty good. We can do some arm hair test. God, my girl's gonna be super mad when she sees that my hand doesn't have any hair. But there you guys see. Greg says, Sean, do you have any Tomo Nagura for that stone? I have some Tomo juice here that I didn't throw away. I was lapping it. I didn't want to throw it away. But I do have this one, Greg. So usually what I do is, this is also a Nakayama, so and that's probably the amount I like using for finishing, but I could go. Once you have a little slurry, it builds up really fast once you have a little bit. But that's the amount I use. I use a lot more slurry when I am using the Mikawa Nagura. Try finishing with tomorrow after the Coma. Just the Coma. I've never actually tried shaving with Coma or Botan or, which I could, but look at that. All right, for you, those of you that are interested, leave me a comment on one of my videos or send me a message on my email. It's on the description. And for those friends of mine that want to keep chatting, you guys got my number. All I do is I sharpen stuff and I shave with stuff. And yeah, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And have a great Tuesday.